Welcome back to another video. My name is Dr. Andrew and today's topic is going to be on unit conversions and dimensional analysis. If you want the notes for this video, just go ahead and check the link in the description to see everything you need for unit conversions and dimensional analysis. Okay, so for unit conversion problems, I like to break them down in a 4-step process. Step 1 is to write what you know. So every time you're lost and you have no idea how to start, well, at least write what you do know. Second is to identify the conversion factors, namely the quantities that we're going to use to change. And then step 3 is key here. We're going to multiply to cancel out the units and then get the unit. And then final answer, and then the final step is to check your answer for the correct units and then see if that makes sense. All right. Okay, so we're going to do this super systematically, and some of you might find this really easy, and some of you might find this a little bit more challenging. So have this 4-step process with you handy. Step 1 is to write down what you know. Okay, and then so what we know is volume is 250 milliliters, but we want liters. Okay, so we have volume, so that's going to tell us, hey, let's go back to our table here. And for step 2 is to identify the conversion factors. So now that we have our table, we know we want liters, so I'm going to ignore everything else that isn't liters and focus my attention to just volume. And then I'm going to note the conversion factor here for step 2, which is identify the conversion factor. All right, and then so we said we want liters, so that's going to be this guy right here, and that says I'm going to box this right here. 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. All right, and so now we're going to have to combine these two guys for step 3. And so we're going to multiply to cancel out the units. And so I'm going to start with what we know. Okay, and so this is where it takes a little bit of practice to like, okay, what do we do? Do we multiply? Do we divide? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with 250 ml. And then I'm going to go ahead and just multiply. But I know that my conversion factor says that 1 liter is 1,000 ml. I'm going to just divide right here. I'm going to divide both sides by 1,000 ml here, right? So if I did an operation to one side, as long as I do it to both sides, it should be equivalent. On the right hand side, this is going to cancel out to 1. So essentially I have 1 equals 1 liter per 1,000 ml. So mathematically, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just saying mathematically 1 equals 1 liter per 1,000 ml. So then I'm going to just divide this by 1,000 ml times 1 liter. So notice that I multiplied by these two guys here, and then I'm going to cancel out milliliters from the top and bottom. So I have essentially 250 milliliters divided by 1,000. That is 0.25 liters. And that is our final answer. You might be saying, hey, that was kind of crazy. Why did you do so many steps for just such a simple calculation? Well, it's important to be systematic. But if you want, you can just, I'll do that all in one step. You can just say, hey, we have 250 milliliters. We're going to just say 250 ml divided by 1,000 ml per liter. Okay. Units are going to cancel out again. So if you're not sure, just do it again. Check your work. And again, we got the same thing. All right, so for problem number 2, we're going to convert 75 centimeters to meters. So again, step 1 was write down what you know. Okay, and we're going to call this a length unit. Length is 75 centimeters. And what we want, length in meters. Okay, then step 2 is note the conversion factor. So we get out our table. Okay, and so we know this is in centimeters, so we want it in meters. So look for this table. We're going to look for something in meters. We're going to say, hey, wait a second, meters here, but we don't have foot. So again, check the other table here. The hardest part is to know which table to look for. So we have 1 centimeter right over here. Look, we have 1 centimeter is 0.01 meters. Okay. Step 2 is write the conversion factors. So from down here, we're going to say that 1 centimeter, we're going to say 1 centimeter is equal to 0.01 meters. Another way of writing that is saying, hey, 100 centimeters is 1 meter, right? So we're going to go ahead and use this guy. This one's a little bit easier to memorize. Okay, and then step 3, multiply the conversions. All right, so then we're going to start with what we know. That's why I like step 1, always start with what we know, because we know we have 75 centimeters. So I'm going to start with our 75 centimeters. And then I'm going to multiply by the conversion factor. This time I'm going to do it in one step. I'm just going to say that 100 centimeters down here on the bottom is equivalent to 1 meter on top here. So notice that I have 1 centimeter on here in the bottom that cancels out with the centimeters on top here. So 75 centimeters divided by 100 is going to be 0.75 meters for our final answer. And then step 4 is to check. We have 0.75 meters. One way to check is to go backwards. So we're going to multiply 1 meter down here by 100 centimeters. And we indeed get back what we got before because these cancel out. So since originally we had 75 centimeters, that means that we are good. So that's the answer for number 2. Okay, I'm going to start to go a little bit faster here. So problem number 3 is convert 2 kilograms to grams. So step 1 is write what we know. So what do we know? We have the mass is equal to 2 kilograms. And we want the mass in grams. So we want it in grams. All right. And then step 2, check the conversion factors. I'm going to write that as CF for conversion factors. And I'm going to pull this up right here. So the question is, which table should we look at? I'm going to look at this guy here. We're going to pull up our table here. And so notice that we have, we have kilograms. 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. Okay. And so that's going to be the conversion factor we use. So for step 3, we're going to multiply out the conversion factors, starting with what we know, which again was 2 kilograms. So I'm going to start with what I know, that's 2 kilograms. Then I'm going to multiply out. So this time I want grams on top here. So this is where you have to be really careful. If I want grams on top, then I'm going to have to write 1,000 grams on top here is only 1 kilogram. Okay. So this time I'm going to cancel out the kilograms. Okay. And then write this out here. So 2 times 1,000 is going to be 2,000 grams. And that's going to be our final answer. Now, would it be correct if I did this? Watch out for this. Okay. You might be tempted to say, hey, I'm going to have 2 kilograms down here, and then I'm going to divide by 1,000 kilograms per gram. Okay. And then I'm going to get a really weird number. I'm going to get 0.001. And then, freak out, that's not different. Well, notice that in this case, that is not correct. I'm saying 1,000 kilograms per gram. Whoa, that's way off. Okay. So try to use some intuition. Does that make sense? 1,000 kilograms is in 1 gram? Dude, 1,000 kilograms is like a lot, right? And then you're saying that's only in 1 gram. So this is not the case, okay? So watch out for mistakes like that. That's how they get you. Okay, so the correct answer is 2,000 grams. All right, next is going to be to convert 5,000 milligrams to grams. So take a pause here and either see if you can work it out yourself, or ideally see if you can kind of do this in your head. If not, no worries. We're going to break it down right now. But eventually the goal is to get so good at this that you can just do this problem in your head. Okay. So step 1, as you know, is write down what we know. Mass is 5,000 milligrams, but we want grams. Okay. So based on the last one, I'm going to go ahead and just directly pull down my conversion sheet. So the more times you do this, then the easier it's going to get. Okay. And so me working in the lab for my PhD, I've done this calculation so many times that I'm just able to do this in my head, right? And it doesn't mean that I'm smarter or anything like that. It just means that I've just practiced a lot more. So we have 5,000 milligrams. We're going to say 1,000 milligrams is 1 gram. So this is the unit conversion that we're going to use here. 1,000 milligrams is 1 gram. Okay, and then now we're going to multiply out our values. We start with our 5,000 milligrams. So we're going to start with 5,000 milligrams. Okay, I'm going to start with 5,000 milligrams. And the next question is, do we multiply or divide? Ooh, that's the tricky part. Okay, and you don't have to guess. Okay, the way we know is we want to cancel out milligrams right here, right? So I'm going to take the unit that we have, 1,000 milligrams. I'm going to put this down here, 1,000 milligrams per 1 gram. Okay, so the reason I'm dividing this time is that we have 1,000 milligrams. That's going to go down here. That's essentially going to cancel out the milligrams from the top and bottom here. Whereas I'm going to multiply by 1 gram on top here. Okay, so cancel that out. And so namely 5,000 milligrams is going to be, well, 5,000 divided by 1,000 is 5 grams. All right, so this is one that we're going to start off with time now, right? So now we're going to convert time. It says how many seconds are in 10 minutes, right? So maybe this is one that you can do in your head, okay? So you can either check the table, and I'll give you a minute to work on that one. So we're going to check our unit conversion table sheet, which again, you can download in the link in bio. Okay, and then notice which one we use here, right? 1 minute is 60 seconds, right? 1 minute is 60 seconds. So I'm just going to straight up write this right here, skip step 1. 1 minute equals 60 seconds. If we think that if we have 10 minutes, okay, and then 1 minute is 60 seconds, right? Then do you agree that we're going to have to multiply 60 seconds per minute to get a total answer of 600 seconds? Okay, do you see kind of how I just intuited that right away? So if 1 minute is 60 seconds, then 10 minutes have to be 600 seconds, right? All right, before we continue, I do want to let you know that I do offer private one-on-one tutoring for various STEM subjects. So whether you're currently a high school student about to take AP Chemistry, or you're in college and about to take advanced courses such as organic chemistry, again, I do offer private one-on-one tutoring for various subjects. So this includes a variety of subjects in a variety of different levels, whether you're in high school or college. I offer tutoring for math, chemistry, physics, and even chemical engineering as well. To get started, all you have to do is book a free consultation call down in the link in my bio. All right, so our next problem is to convert 2.5 kilometers to meters. Okay, and so you know the drill. We're gonna go ahead and get our SI conversion sheet, and this one can convert right away, right? This says that 1,000 kilometers is 1 times 10 to the 3 meters, okay? So I'm gonna write this out here. 1 kilometer here is 1 times 10 to the 3 meters, or equivalently, that's 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters here. So I'm going to start with what I know, which I know is going to be 2.5 kilometers, and then multiply this out. Which one goes on top and the bottom this time? We're going to say that on the bottom is going to be 1 kilometer. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Okay, so therefore 2.5 kilometers, this is going to multiply out to 2,500 meters. All right, next we're going to convert 1.2 meters into centimeters. So without pulling out the conversion table, I'm just going to note directly that I know 100 centimeters is in 1 meter. So hopefully you're going to start to memorize that by now. And then I'm just going to start with what I know, 1.2 meters. Well, I know that 1 meter contains 100 centimeters, so that's why I'm going to have our meters on the bottom here to cancel out this meter on top. Multiply this out, 1.2 times 100 is 120 centimeters total. We're starting to get way faster, right? All right, next we're going to convert 1.5 liters to milliliters. So again, without referencing the conversion table, I'm going to note that 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. So I'm going to start with our 1.5 liters, multiply out 1 liter down here in the bottom to cancel that liter out on top, which equates to 1,000 ml. Cancel these guys out. And that's going to be 1,500 ml. 1,500 milliliters. Okay, and then our next problem here is to convert 4.5 kilometers to meters. So again, this is really similar to our last one here. So we just recall that 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So I'm going to start with our 4.5 kilometers. Multiply out 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Make sure these units cancel out. Our final answer is 4,500 meters. All right, the last problem is going to be directly on the link in the bio where you can just download the problem sets here. It's going to be convert 3 hours to seconds. You can either download the sheet for yourself and try it out, or the first person to leave the direct comment with the correct answer is going to get pinned to the comments here. Okay, so like I said, you can download all the equations and everything you need down in the link in the description. All right, thanks so much for watching. That's going to be the end of this video. I really do hope this was helpful. Once again, I do offer private tutoring for various subjects, whether you're in high school or college, including math, chemistry, physics, and engineering. If you want more information, just check out the link in my bio to register for your first consultation call, or shoot me a DM on Instagram. Thanks again for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video.